It's funny you guys mentioned the Kiss My Ass album because I forgot. Yeah, I do have that because of Extreme. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They did do Strutter on that.
Yeah, and Anthrax does She on it. The Anthrax doesn't do Strutter on it. They do She, which is a great movie as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, great callback, man, because yeah, there's a lot of good.
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I fucking had that. What is that? I remember the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones on. I was like, oh, what is that called again? So
I gotta check that out, man. That sounds very interesting.
I do. The voice is a little off-putting on it, but the horn section is really the.
Their horn section is really.
And that's what they are, right? They're
really good.
And it's cool. The horn section actually plays the solo. It sounds like the solo, but with a brass section, and it's really kind of cool.
Cool. That's really cool.
So I had, as far as my list goes, I had my initial list, which was all 70s. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then there was kind of a mix of stuff, and then I started going with, excuse me, I'm sorry, a bunch of the Anthrax covers, and then I'm so sorry. Death Angel. I was a big fan of Death Angel, kind of a thrash band from San Francisco.
Yep.
They did Cold Gin like amazing. So much that my band that I've talked about in the past, Hemlock, actually did their version of Cold Gin. We played it live, and that was one of the songs that brought me kind of back into it pretty early. And Cold Gin was going to be on my list, and I couldn't do it because the reason I love it is because of another band, not so much Kiss. So I dropped it off. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with my list. There probably could have been a couple switches here or there, but I stand by my list. Those are the 4 songs that I really like, and I would actually search out to listen to.
Cold Gin's 14 on my list. I looked at my top 20, and my list is Kiss 75 on Spotify. Lick It Up's the only one in the top 20 from the 80s.
Interesting.
I'm glad you grabbed that. And I don't dislike the 80s. The next one is like 22, which is Burn Bitch Burn from Animalize.
Wow.
So it's an album track. It's not even.
Yeah.
It's fucking Gene again.
I had Heavens on Fire on there for a little bit.
I had Overkill for me. I used to love it when I was a kid. Yeah.
Charisma. Yeah. Love Gun. I had Love Gun at 12. I had Lick It Up at 10. Exciter.
Yeah, Exciter's down.
But I don't, like I said, I'm probably not going to listen to much of this after say.
And I forget too how many songs Anthrax covered of Kiss. So there was like She, right? And then Parasite,
Strutter.
Yeah, Strutter. Watching You, they did.
I'd have to look it up. There's like 10 of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch, man. I don't have a list in front of me, but yeah, that's what else? But yeah, they again, and just a preview when we do a cover song, you might see Anthrax on there. And will it be a Kiss song? You'll have to wait and find out in the future.
My favorite album shows itself pretty strongly once I get down into the teens and in the 20s. There's a lot of rock and roll over songs.
No, interesting. Okay.
Because I really like that. See you in your dreams, Take Me, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, Baby Driver, Calling Dr. Love, which is a great tune. They're all in there, right? Because I love that album so much. So.
Yeah. Destroyer was like my childhood go-to album. So
it was fucking killed.
Loved that album. Love Gun, loved that album. Kiss Alive 2, the double platinum. Those are the 4 albums that I had that I coveted, that I just absolutely loved.
And that's maybe how you really know Ladies Room, because it's on Kiss Alive 2, right?
Yeah. And I had Dynasty, and I loved Dynasty. I don't know what it was about that album, because it's kind of ill-produced. It's not a real.
And there's some heavy Ace in there too, right? With Sure Know Something and 2000 Man.
Yep.
Like there's some good Ace.
And then what brought me back is when Eric Carr came in. Excuse me. He was the musical force behind Creatures of the Night. Paul and Gene kind of let him have the musical reins because they were kind of exhausted, and they're like, let's see what the new kid can do.
Right.
He sang a lot on that. He played just amazing drums. He actually wrote some stuff on guitar, brought some piano stuff in. So he was kind of the musical force of that album. But unfortunately, it was a complete flop. The Elder and Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up is what brought them back into the fold and kind of saved their ass again.
Right. But speaking of that, like Creatures of the Night, when Chris, that song, like when you said about the Zeppelin, so true. Like that intro to I Love It Loud is so like Zeppelin-esque, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And because I know this song, but I wasn't looking at it for my notes. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I never even thought about that.
Another song that I had on my list that kept kind of bouncing back and forth was Young and the Wasted. There's just something about that. It's a very kind of anthem-y, which Kiss tends to do, but very Eric Carr.
Yeah.
But Gene Simmons, was singing on that.
It's funny, like you're right about Creatures of the Night and music from the Elder. I like music from the Elder. It's fucking cheesy as shit. But like Just a Boy, A World Without Heroes, like I like some of those tracks.
Yeah.
They're very like flamboyant Paul, really.
Right. In the world of vinyl, that is a very coveted album because they released so few.
Yeah, low print run.
Yep. Because how it
was
works,
even hard to find on cassette back in the day, like it wasn't because nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
but to find it when I was collecting, I was like, I got to get all these Kiss in a row. As I had them all on cassette, I was like, fuck, I can't get music from the Elder. And my buddy said, well, that's probably a good thing.
Right. Well, usually how vinyl is released is a major act will get 100,000 pressings. So they'll go through, I think it's 10 die. And then they'll release it into the wild, see how it goes. If there's a reorder, they'll do another 50 to 100,000, 2 to 5 dies, do it again. And then if it's just a world beater, they'll just do a mass printing. So there's always a first, second, third editions to most album releases out there. Right. This one, I don't even think it got a second edition.
And that's a reason why first editions are highly coveted, not because this is the first one's printed, because generally they're a lower print run and they sound better.
And they sound better, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think we covered everything Kiss. Like, there's probably something later we'll be like, oh, we forgot to mention. That's why I threw in the coffins there at the end, because they think they have the weirdest fucking shit, right? Like,
yeah. Do you remember even that 70s show was making fun of them? They're like, remember the Kiss alarm clock in that 70s show? I want to rock and roll all night and get up.
But it's funny. I have these, like the 4 Funkos. I have a concert poster, like one of those generic concert poster things on my wall up there. It's been on my wall at every house. Right. And I have a Pearl Jam Soundgarden one. And when Chris Cornell died, it hit me that I've been looking at, because I usually put them beside the TV, looking at Chris Cornell for like 20 years, because it's every house. And this Kiss one's the same thing. It's a concert poster from Dynasty. So it's them still in the makeup, right? But I thought of that today. I was like, there is Kiss all around me, right? I have little Paul and Gene figures on a shelf, like, because they have all those fucking figures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
one, as you've said in the past, you're a collector. So
right. So, and I have hardly anything compared to some people. Probably have fucking rooms full of. If they're part of the army and love Kiss, they probably.
I know people that have
buried in a Kiss coffin.
Buried in a Kiss coffin, eating, with their hand in a lunchbox.
All 4 variants of the McFarlanes,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I remember watching one of those like American Pickers shows or American Restoration shows where they're a guy paying like hand over fist to get a Kiss pinball machine, original one, redone and stuff for his like Kiss room, and his fucking room was just nothing but Kiss shit, right?
Yeah. Well, Chris, my buddy Calvin. He's got one. His parents were hairdressers and had a hair salon. It used to be in the salon, something for people to do while they're waiting to get a haircut or whatever. And then it was in his basement for years. Didn't work, but it was an original. I think he's got it working now. And people have offered him, myself included, I'll give you $1,000 for that. Because I wanted it in my basement, right? He's a Kiss fan. He's like, no, I'm not selling it. Even when it wasn't working, I'm not selling it.
If it worth more than $1,000.
Right. I wouldn't even care if it worked, just to have it sitting there, right?
Just Ranked is researched and produced by the Just Ranked crew. Edited and mixed by Joe Burkle. Socials and marketing by DJR Media Services. Theme music by Blue Joker. If you're enjoying the show, please set your podcast app to download new episodes and help spread the word by leaving a review and tell everyone you know to listen.